Okay guys, so let me show you how you can prepare the FMT capsules in the do-it-yourself version in a method that I think is very efficient and fast. So I'll show you now. Let's go. Here we have all the material required to prepare the capsules at home. We have, first of all, here a plastic container with inside a Ziploc bag. This is for the donor to collect the stool. Then we have a smaller Ziploc bag where we will mix the stool together with the solutions. We have 2 spoons that we can use, we have the solutions that we need. Here is some hydrogen peroxide solution. Then we have a saline solution 0.9, so physiological solution. Then we have glycerin, glycerol pure. We have here a strainer and a plastic plate where we will mix or filter the solution. Then we have a syringe. This one is 60 milliliters with an adapter tip, which comes handy. We have gloves. Then we have 2 capsules, the smaller ones, the internal one. This is a 0 size gelatin capsule, and this is a 00 vegetable enteric coated capsule. The important thing is that the outer capsule is enteric coated. Then we have a optional mask to protect ourselves from the smell if we want. Then we have a machine, a capsule filling machine. This is a manual one, which we will use to fill the capsules. And then we have 2 containers where we will put the finished capsules. Here are oxygen absorbers. These are also optional, but can be handy. We can put them inside here together with the capsules to absorb the oxygen. Permanent marker to label the plastic bottles, and then this one is for the waste. Then of course we need the freezer as well, where we will store our capsules. And I also recommend to put the saline solution in the fridge. So yes, I tried to present it in a chronological order. We start with this material and we end with this one. Yes, that's it. Okay, first of all, I will wear my glove. It's not a problem if the stool comes in contact with your hand, but if you have any cut, open wound, it can infect it. If you have gloves, use them. Okay, so the sample is stored at 4 degrees. So we have the sample was stored at 4 degrees. It was picked up an hour ago, more or less. Then let's start. Let's collect the material that we need. So here we have the bag. Yeah, these 2 we need. Let's prepare the work location. So I will be doing it here in the cabinet. This is a laminar flow cabinet, just to keep things clean. You can use whatever you have. This we don't need. Okay, here we have the glycerol, the saline solution. Let's pick up the rest of the material. You can wait here if you want. Okay, this is what we need for the first step. This is a mask. I'm not gonna wear it because you won't hear me that well. So I'm just gonna do it without. That's it. The first step, we're gonna prepare the solution and prepare it in the syringe that we will use to fill the capsules afterwards. So let's start. I'm gonna wear the second glove. So here we have a balance, and here we have a bag for the trash. Okay. This we won't need probably. This we'll keep here, but probably we won't need it. Spoons. Okay. So let's start. We start by weighing out the stool that we need. We use a spoon. We don't need to be very precise here. Yeah, this is 6 grams. It's not a big deal. We can use this. Actually, we can even use, there you go, calibrate it. Balance fell asleep. Okay. So we're going to use a little bit of the stool, just a little bit as an example. This stool here is quite hard. You can wait. So you see it's 24 grams. So it's quite hard, so it doesn't contain a lot of water. What we do is we generally, if it's a Bristol stool scale 2 or 3, this would be probably a 2. We can mix with glycerol by weight 1:1. So this is 24 grams. We're going to add directly straight into here 24 grams of glycerol. So we're going to go to 48. So let's see. So this is 40, a bit more. You'll be able to add more afterwards if you need to, if you feel like you need to. As a rule of thumb, it's a good starting point if we do half-half. Okay, let's see. Yeah, 47, that's fine. I'm a chemist, but this is not a chemist's work. Then we try to squeeze out as much air as possible. There you go. We close it, and then we can press it right away like this. We can press it like this with our hands. Make sure it's closed, for sure. Tightly. So what I like to do is, what I think is efficient is adding the glycerol first, mixing it a little bit, and then diluting it slightly, like at most adding a little bit of saline solution, because the ratio of 1 to 1 is already a nice ratio. Stool glycerol, it's going to be enough to hold the capsule intact, not to make it dissolve. But I like to add a little bit of water just to make sure the stool gets dissolved better. So I can even use the plate here to measure out some water. I'm using some water because the stool was quite dry, so this is more an art than a science. Let's measure out, say 5 grams of water. Squeeze out the air. Close and mix. Just use your hand to mix. This donor here usually produces Bristol stool scale number 3 very regularly, very consistently, never has a loose stool. This time I pressured him because I wanted to do this before I leave. So he gave me a very small sample and he made an effort to give me something, but I see it's slightly harder than usual. But take your time with this step because there's no air and you're gonna mix it nicely. It can take 10 minutes, no problem. I'm gonna rush it a little bit just for sake of demonstration. Really the purpose of this video is to show you how you can do it. It's not really to produce any capsule. So let's bring everything on one side. It's still quite hard. But you can press it nicely. Make sure you use a Ziploc bag that is quite resistant. Don't take the cheap ones. They can break. Okay. Now, we're moving everything down here. This corner. Okay. Everything I'm using here is disposable. What I recommend you do, of course. Just use disposable stuff, material. Okay. Now let's pour this mixture. Press it once more. Open it. Okay. Close it up. Discard. Put this aside. Stool sample. Then we take a spoon and we press down try to press down through the strainer. What you can do here is you can add a little bit of glycerin on top. Again, this is going to be 1 or 2 grams, really not much, just to help with the pressing through of the material. It's being less and less. Use the other one to help ourselves. Make sure you use hard plastic or metal spoons. One last time. Press it through. You can use the more of the surface of the strainer. We'll press it through, and then you can use the second spoon to scrape it off on the other side, from the bottom, for example. Okay, just make sure there's no thick pieces that get stuck in that get into your solution. Mixture. Okay, now this one we will discard, throw away. There you go. Now here mix once more. Now you can see we're not doing this in a anaerobic environment. This is exposed to oxygen. And in my personal opinion, this doesn't influence the process or the result too much. What in my opinion has a much larger influence is the fact that it's the freezing process. So in my personal experience, taking 5 fresh capsules, unfrozen capsules, is way more effective than taking 5 frozen capsules. Okay, now we have a mixture which looks like it's quite homogenized. Okay, what we do now is we fill the syringe. So there's a tip here we can use to fill the capsules afterwards. But first of all, we want to fill the syringe. So let's gather all the liquid on one side. This spoon we can throw away now at this point. Now you see it's quite liquid. I think this is the perfect consistency. If it's thicker, you can add water and glycerol. Like you can add a 1-to-1 mixture of water and glycerol, some water and some glycerol. And if it's too thin, you should be fine. It's probably a bit too. It's not optimal, but because there's going to be too much water or glycerol. but the capsule will hold because there will be enough glycerol to make it hold. Okay, here you go. Now what we're gonna do is you can use this paper just to clean the bottom. We could run one test to make sure it gets through nicely because you want it to work properly. So if I press now, you can see, okay, it's dropping down nicely. There's no stoppage. Now there's a bit of a stoppage, so there must be something left inside. So that's what you see. It came down with 1/4. So with it stopped at one point. So that's not ideal. But doing this will actually break up the larger particles. So it's worth doing one test, in my opinion, because when you fill the capsules and you're not and you're getting stuck and you might have a sudden release, it can mess up your work. Okay. Now this is gonna be fine. Just quickly do it here. Opa. Let's clean the tip. We want to have everything nice and clean. Throw away the plate, and now we're ready to fill the capsule. So let's get the second half of the material that we need. Okay, so let's go get the second part. So first of all, we want to label what this is, so just to make sure. Probably you don't need to do this, but I'll just put the date. Today is the 7th. 18. Keep it frozen. Okay, so we have the capsules. We have the machine, oxygen absorber, and then we have as last the container. Okay, let's get started. So I made a separate video where I tested the minimal required glycerol content for a capsule not to melt, and also comparing the different capsules. So let's start. Like this. So, okay. We don't need this one. Okay, good. So first of all, we're going to use the gelatin capsules. Which we'll put in the holder. We'll just do 10. So with this recipe here, using 50% approximately of glycerol, you can easily fill 30 or 40 at the time, because you will have the time to finish them, so to encapsulate them a second time. Okay, so and last one. Here you go, we have 10. Now what you want to do is we want to start filling up. This is the perfect tip. As you can see, it's not dripping down, but we need to hurry a little bit because it might start. So go slow. This requires a little bit of experience. And dexterity in using the syringe. But as I said, if it's too much, just remove a little bit, absorb it. You can fill them to the top. Okay. Now we want to close them. So these are the tops. There we go. Take some paper. Here you go. Now you have 10 size 0 capsules. What we want to do now is take these 10 capsules, and encapsulate them in another layer. So as you can see, these are perfectly clean on the outside. You can do 2 at a time. Now in this form they will stay hard like this for at least half an hour, or 20-30 minutes, 20 for sure, 20 minutes, which is more than enough time to fill them here and freeze them, put them in the freezer. Now the ones that are wet or got this solution on the outside, basically you will see they are wet from the outside. I usually discard. I would discard them, but wait, let me show you one. Because if you touch them and then you touch this one, you will have stool on the outer capsule, which you don't want. Ideally, it shouldn't be a problem, but still, I prefer not to. So you can see the result is a capsule like this. You can zoom in if you want. Okay. So last step, we're gonna add an oxygen absorber. So we're gonna remove the oxygen inside here. Close. And then we go and put them in the freezer. I recommend you put them first in a Ziploc bag. So let me get a Ziploc bag, just keep things organized. Okay, then you can put them in your freezer. This is a -80-degree freezer. Okay, so last step is going to be cleaning up everything, but it's not a big deal because as you saw, as I said, we're using disposable material, so you can throw away pretty much everything except for the press, which you can clean.